Good afternoon and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. Did you all have a lovely lunch? It's lovely to be back again. Hopefully you've all joined us after the insane Crafters Select this morning of what to wear. If you missed it, you missed out on a fantastic show. As far as the products is concerned, don't forget to go and look at today's deal of the day to grab yourself an absolute bargain on that Crafters Select. It's got £10 off it, but only till midnight tonight, and it is selling really, really fast, so you're going to have to be quick. Please do go back and watch the shows. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, then you'll be able to find that very, very easily, and if you've hit that notification bell, you will have had notifications about that and about this, because today we have got the most extraordinary offer on a huge collection. It's a silly price, and it is for today only. So it is a one-off special. We have got a little bit fancy for you today. 200712 £82.49. Can I just say that if you bought all of these dies, it should be £207.93. Now, Carnation always offer a discount when you buy a bundle anyway. So if you went normally and bought this, it'd be £149.99. Today, and today only, you've got the special price of £82.49, free P&P, and if you're subscribed to the Carnation newsletter, as you know, anything that's 3 months or older, you get 10% discount. That's going to take it down to £74.24. £74.24 for everything you're seeing in front of you, including free artwork and free backing papers. Just let that sink in, because this, my friends, is an extraordinary collection. It's huge for £74.24.
I struggled to display it. There's so many.
You can see that we've got one flower, the balloon flower, hidden behind the others because we don't have room to display it all. It's enormous for that price. You can see why it is for today and today only. Okay, so they're not going to repeat this. So, a little bit fancy. What is it? Well, it's a collection that came out in 2020. It's one of Carnation's early ones. It's wonderful. There's a curtain in it, so it's all about kind of almost behind the veil. What are you putting behind the curtain? What's coming forward from it? It's very pretty, very feminine. It's also excellent if you want to make things for youngsters. There's a little ballerina there. It's got all the idea of this gorgeous little kind of toddler lifting up, trying to get mum's makeup from the makeup stand. It's really, really pretty. It's very sweet. But then it has incredible florals in it, really incredible florals in it. So you're going to be able to make up all of this gorgeous stuff. We have a little carnation mouse on doing ballet on some ballet slippers there, but also it's got cut lines, so you can use the ballet slippers separately. Think how useful that is as a die. You've got champagne bottle, again, those useful elements, and with the champagne bottle comes a champagne bucket, and it's got ice. So you're really building up these different things. Or alternatively, you can use that champagne bucket to put the florals in. So you create those displays. We become a florist. There's so many elements. We're going to show you the boards. We're going to go through everything for you. But honestly, £74.24 if you use your 10% discount code. If you haven't signed up to the newsletter, you're still getting it at a ridiculous price of £82.49. All of those dies together should come to £207.93. Taz, will you do me a massive favour? Will you get your trusty calculator out? If I use my 10% discount, I get this for £74.24, and it should be £207.93 for the individual dies. How much money would I have saved? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let's let her do the wizardry. I'm not good with the maths. So you would have saved £133.69. That's some maths, ain't it? We like those maths. So this is the day. This is the day to grab a little bit fancy. Why are we so excited about it? Well, because it's just gorgeous. It's an amazing collection. We're going to show you loads of finished samples, and then we've got demos for you as well. But let's have a look at what you're getting. You get the main card shape, okay, and it's stunning. This incredible filigree that sits here. It's really, really beautiful. And you get this curtain. Now the curtain is also stunning, and it's also dealing with cut lines done in specific ways. First of all, we can see pip lines here, so you can kind of free it. You can almost scrunch it so that those curtains kind of almost concertina, so they look even more open than they are now, or leave them exactly as they are. That can go onto half of your card shape, or it can be used on a DL. It can be used in lots of different ways to create different ideas of how you want that card to come forward. You've got the gorgeous element here, which can be folded back on itself. So if you fold it in half, you've got the 2 dots, and it creates a tie back for the curtains. Then you've got the gorgeous little love hearts, and they can just sit on that tie back to add an extra element to it. Beautiful cut in the colours, beautiful cut in white. Now, when we get to, actually I'll leave that there, when we get to colourways, what are we going to give you for colourways? Well, we'll give you colourways for the filigree. Now, this is very unusual for Carnation. You know this. Normally, your filigree pieces are your white parts at the top, but let's give you 2 colourways. We'll give you this gorgeous sort of dramatic grey-blue blush. It's very pretty. Remember, you've got those blush papers to go with these, or we'll go with the natural, and you can have it either way. Do you want the extra filigree in the middle, or do you want to leave it plain? Your choice. You craft your way. And then this beautiful curtain that we've got here, which has got all of the cut lines in it to allow you to kind of fold it in like fabric. So it's got that flow line going to it. Or alternatively, turn it round and use it as the base of your card. It depends what you want to do and how you want to play. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Look at these florals and take a minute to just look at the cut line detail. It's beautiful. And we'll give you split dies, so we'll let you do over the edge cards with these as well, and we'll give you decoupage. Stunning pieces. Look at these. Absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? Stunning, stunning, beautiful florals. So the last one obviously being your peony. I'm going to have a peek. This is, oh, I would have never guessed that in a million years. This is your agapanthus. Beautiful. Take away the stem if you don't want it. Use these blooms. You saw us with the wardrobe earlier and what to wear. Imagine these as your corner elements to go with that. And remember, your colour's still working, right? Because everything works together. The little flow you've got here for your decoupage, imagine those being used as blossom falling. Really pretty. And that is your night scented stock. Again, your split dies here. Over the edge cards, really important every single time. Look at these, your balloon flowers. Each one can be individually cut. Then you can add in your extra decoupage elements. You can build this up so that obviously that's decoupage, or strip it back so you've got extra pieces. Really stunning colourway. My favourite of all. Look at that. That bloom, that colour and that vibrancy. And you can see how that adds into that decoupage as we build it up. Really stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. It looks 3D, doesn't it? It's got that element of a 3D piece. And that one is your astibal. I presume it's pronounced that way. Then we go on. Look at this. It's cubes to sit in your ice bucket. The handle is separate. Choose to use it or don't. And it can just slide through there if you want to use it. You can also have it hanging down from the front, and so it glues in front at the place there. Really pretty. Champagne bottles and wine bottles and any celebration piece like that in the crafting industry, always really popular because it's a sign of celebration without actually saying it with a sentiment, isn't it? It's a sign, we know it. It's universally known as let's celebrate the joy. So then it stems over anniversaries, christenings, somebody passing their driving test. It's every celebration that we would have, graduation, all of those things, even things like maybe not pregnancy, but you know, all of those elements that we celebrate. And that's what champagne bottles do. So when we utilize have tools like this, we've always got something appropriate for a card. That's why these are so important. Look at this. For the little ballerinas in our lives. Now, as I said, this has got a pip line going straight across her feet. So you can separate the mouse and use her separately, or use the ballerina slippers separately. That's up to you, or use the whole. And it's gorgeous. Now she has got extra decoupage pieces, so we build her up, and then she's got an extra little piece for her skirt, so that becomes an even more 3D image. Okay, so you've got all of this sort of play away as far as dimensions concerned. Really cute. Then you've got your sentiments. Celebrate your day, someone special. And you've also got the word to. And you can see here we've even got colorways for you. If you don't want to use it in white, absolutely use the colorways. And the colorways all fit in with all the artwork that you've seen already. You've got your half doily set. 2 different styles. These, again, so important. It's that background texture, isn't it? That light work that we see coming through with Carnation, where you can sort of have it in different playways. You've also got these gorgeous, gorgeous backing elements. So I could make actually a card out of these if I wanted to. Really pretty. And I can do over the edge because they are half cards. The handbags, the shoes, everything sitting. So if I want those behind that curtain, then I absolutely can. And then we get the star of the show. Here she is reaching up so that she can grab hold of the lipstick that maybe mum has left on the dressing table. That split die coming through over the edge card so that you can open it with this at the front, pull it open and have a scene behind it, maybe with the curtain. And then those florals coming through. So the surprises all the way as we craft with Carnation. You can create those elements that are interactive, that are surprises for the recipient. And they're always going to be beautiful. Pop yourself a little extra piece of mirror card here if you want to make it shine. Tons of different ways of playing, right? A Little Bit Fancy is a huge collection, and it's something that Carnation obviously are, once again, very proud of. But to be able to bring you this at a ridiculous price of £82.49 for everything that you've just seen. Now, I don't know how many dies there are exactly in there, but there's a lot. It's a huge amount. £207.93 is where it should be. It normally sits at £149.99. We're giving it to you today, and for today only, £82.49. I'm just going to keep saying it. And if you've got your 10% discount code, £74.22. That's a whacking £133.69 potential discount for today only. Take advantage while you can. Free UK P&P. 200712. So we've seen the price. We've seen how many things that you're going to get, what you're going to make with it. Look at these beautiful cards. Sitting there with your DL, those gorgeous elements coming through that beautiful, beautiful scene. Really stunning. Want to use your filigree? Can we just celebrate those florals for a moment? Reaching up with that curtain, that veiled curtain behind. She's reaching high, trying to get hold of it. Cute as a button, right? What's behind the curtain? You can never, ever go wrong with florals. There's always, always a use for florals. And sometimes if you're trying to make a card and you don't quite know where to go appropriately for the occasion, florals are going to cover it, right? You can see here we've got different colourways. There will be different colourways available to you on the Carnation Crafts website as well. They may be at an extra cost today, but the original ones are all there for you. Pam Simpson coming in here strong with those celebration cards, or we can celebrate even more here like Janine's done. Gorgeous, right? This is an extraordinary collection. Pair it right back. Celebrate your day. These are Carnations nested. That is the shabby nested dies. You can see these being used quite a lot. Vera Bow here. So many gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. Barbara Treadwell coming in. Look at those. Don't forget your perfect papers. We'll show you those in a second. Everything comes together when we've got them. Isn't it lovely to celebrate people and to celebrate occasions and to have really gorgeous ways of playing with it? Janine using the filigree there as the card base, so you don't actually need to use a different one. And see how Janine has then colour pieced inside the inside of the filigree here. So she's pieced that in together with those perfect papers, creating a different visual and a different composition. Need to make a really quick card? One vignette from Carnation can produce the most extraordinary cards. It goes without saying that you can craft to your absolute best with a simple vignette. Pam Simpson here. Let's have a look at that little mouse doing his ballet. Barbara Treadwell. How pretty is that? You can see how versatile this collection is. You can see how many different ways you're going to be able to craft. Something that's maybe a little more interactive here from Lavinia. Using acetate there to create that floating card. And it's effective, isn't it? And that's just creating a simple box frame there. It's effective because when we have the extra stage set, you can do a little bit more visually with it. Sue Dalrymple coming in here with those florals, using that curtain to a different way, and you will see that in demo today. And finally from Janine, again, one vignette, one die cut. And it's the power of Carnation, isn't it? It's how they play. It's how we create those differences. That's a little bit fancy, and you'll find it on the Carnation Crafts website, 200712. As we said, a combined price supposedly of 20793. Usual price 149.99. We're going to give it to you today, and today only 82.49. Please do use your 10% discount code from that newsletter to take it down to £74.24. Before you check out with that, don't forget to add in your perfect papers. It's always going to be the best friend to the collections that you buy. They're designed to be the best friend to the collections that we buy. The colours all matching in here with all of the elements from the collection. 48 sheets of 300 GSM. You're going to get 6 colourways. These are all block colours. You're going to get 8 of each, so you'll be able to craft and craft and craft and craft. There's a lot of cards to be made out of these perfect papers. Obviously, if you put these in with that main collection, then you will get free shipping or free P&P. If you have put it in separately, it will have a £2.95 P&P for the UK because it's under £50. So if you grab them together, then you will avoid all shipping and posting, that kind of thing. Unless you're abroad, in which case you've got some to pay anyway, which is £4.95 for the collection. $14.95 if you want to also add in your perfect papers. It is different internationally, just to let you know. Right, shall we look at some demos, Taz?
Yes, please.
Make sure I've got the right ones in my little box of tricks down here. It's getting warmer in the studio than it was this morning, or could just be my age, who knows. Right, oh, I want to talk to you about something as well, because I keep meaning to bring them upstairs and I keep forgetting. Nick did a search, and he searched and searched. It's a bit like, you know, Britain's Got Talent. He searched and he searched, and he's been researching for a long, long time to find the perfect pair of craft tweezers. Something that has got a solid hold, something that is incredibly strong, but also something that doesn't fail. So he told me when I went over there, and he was like, oh, I found these tweezers. And I was like, oh, let me look at them, because I'm funny about tweezers, because obviously I use them for paper sculpture. So I was like, I want to see them because I don't trust anybody telling me about tweezers. He did find the perfect pair of craft tweezers. I'll give him his due. He found them. So we've got these on the Carnation Craft website. They are round tipped. Okay. So it's what, Taz, are you saying? You want it against my shirt? Is that easier? So they're round tip basically, so you don't have the point on them. Now, what does that mean? So if I turn that so you can see it, why does it matter if they're round tipped and not pointed? What difference is it going to make? Well, if you think in terms of surface area, if I've got a pointed tip, I've got less grip than if I've got that big rounded surface. So there's more chance of it falling, there's more chance of me losing grip. But the problem I've got with tweezers, and I think you'll have all come across this at home, is when you've got your gripping point in the centre, if you grip too hard, the ends separate and it again drops what you're doing. Now, if you're anything like me, you grip real hard because that's your logical sense of things, right? Is you're trying to grip really hard to make sure you don't drop it. That forces those ends open. These, made in Germany, don't do that. They have got a really narrow bridge here. So when that clamps together, the whole thing goes flat. That's the difference. A lot of craft tweezers that we see go up and then down, okay? These don't have that. They've also got a grip on them on the edge outside here, which allows you to really hold on to what you've got. So you get the perfect grip every single time without fail, ain't going anywhere. That's going to stay exactly where I've got it until said time as I need to let go. These are really important tools. Might sound daft. You might be like, well, a tweezer's a tweezer's a tweezer. It ain't. When we're crafting and we want the right tools, this is why we say about the ball tools from Carnation, you want the right ones because it does the right job. The reason it's taken Carnation so long to get the tweezers in is because Nick has literally been researching for the best ones. It matters. So we finally found them. And you'll find them on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Right, now that I've stopped going on about tweezers and my excitement about tools, because you know I love them, I'm going to have a look at a little bit fancy. We're going to have a look at the main card base here. So I've cut this twice, and I've got my red liner tape. Take that off, fold it so you've got it towards your body. Take the other one and shuffle, place down, pin, and push. That gives me my tent base perfectly. Now look at that. Coming in with those perfect papers. So pretty. Very, very cool tones in these purples. So we're cooling everything down because I'm going to be using pinks on top. Place, push, pull. And then we cool it with some white on top. Now, if you want to go in and add a little bit more colour, but you still want to cool it down even more, you can use the blue blush papers. They will also add a cooler element to it. I'm doing this from overhead, so I can't actually see. Let me just come a little bit closer, Taz. Sorry, otherwise I'm not going to have it anywhere near. All right. It'll be about right there. There's a lot of guesswork when you can't lean over. Now, the filigree. They're stunning. Can we just? You've obviously got options here where you can lay that flat. I instead have put it on a 5mm. I'm big and I'm high here, okay, because I want the shadow. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Let's take this off. Oh. And put these on. I love that. You can see the shadows coming in, the drama of it all. Now, part of the reason that I've done that, just to allow that separation, is because I'm going to put the curtain over half of this. So it'll just allow those shadows to happen, but it will also allow the shadows of the things that I'm putting on top of it to come through on that white as well. So again, we're playing with light and dark and shade. So I've got my curtain here. And you can see how it just sits nicely on that edge. It brings around that diamond, everything seated together, so it's very, very pretty. I'm going to lay that flat, so I want some wet glue. I'm using the Carnation Everyday Glue for this because it dries fast. And then I'm going to use my applicator because when we work with filigree, there's holes in it. And holes mean that I'm going to get glue everywhere. So if I do it this way, if I raise this up, I know it's going to sit on here. So I know where my important places are. Take a little daub of glue onto your applicator, and I'm just going to start placing them in appropriate areas, just so I get enough stick. I don't need to worry too much about getting too much, but I do want to make sure that I'm working in areas to get it fully stuck down. Small amounts. And just work it through. Take this, I'm not doing anything with it other than laying it at this point. You see how it fits perfectly with the card base? It's an identical match. So it's always going to fit perfectly onto this card base. Once I've got that committed, Hey up, she says. Committed down. I can start playing with the elements that go on top. So I'm just going to let that seat. If you need to add more glue, remember you can always add more to it. You can't take adhesive away. It will not work. So you're always better off with less and then adding more than you are putting more and then trying to take it away. So I've got that seated. Now, I want to decoupage this in. Okay, so I've got this piece here, but I just want to talk to you about it a little bit first. Cut line details. So I can concertina these down. So if I just separate each one first and then I work it, you see how I get the flow of fabric here? It adds a fullness and a depth that I wouldn't necessarily have had in the first place. And that's why those cut lines are so important. So I'm going to come in, concertina this up, and just work through. And so I can place that on top and it'll just give it that extra bit of depth. Are you okay, Taz?
We've just sold out.
No.
We still have the floral collection.
We've still got the floral collection, but we've sold out of the thing. We'll carry on demoing for you so that those of you who've got it today, well done for those of you who've got it. I know that was a good stock that we had today. So selling out, it was going to happen at that price, wasn't it? Well done to you all. The floral collection is actually obviously those florals that we went through, which are absolutely stunning, and you get the card base as well. That's 200713, show price of £65.99, free UK P&P, and I'm guessing you can still use your 10% discount code on that as well, Taz. So that'll take you to, I'm not sure, Miss Taz will work that out for us. It's always best to get in early with Carnation. You know they sell out all the time. That would take it down to £59.39. Well done to all of you that managed to get hold of it. We knew it was going to sell out. We knew, because at that price, it was daft, wasn't it? Right, let's put in some silicone gel glue in here. Now, I'm doing this for two reasons. One, to hold it, obviously, and to lift it. And I'm putting in plenty in these folds. But the other is because I'm going to want to lift up and add some florals underneath this piece. And that's going to give me room to breathe and room to achieve what I need to achieve. So I'm placing in. And now I get that ruffled effect, okay? But I also get the shadow where it's laying, so it's giving me that fullness. Now, because I've pushed that piece back and concertinaed, I still have the artwork here. So it's giving it that extra sort of idea of an even more full curtain. Remember, when we've got cut line detail, it's there for a reason and it suits absolutely a purpose. I'm going to come into here and I'm going to add in some wee little lavender florals just behind, just to add a little extra pop of colour. So I'm just going to tuck in. If I've got excess down here, that's not going to be a problem, because all I need to do is snip. Remember, snippability, snippability, snippability. We're always going to make it suit our needs. I'm just going to tuck that underneath. Now I want to add another one just up above. So I'm going to have two, and I just want them peeking. I just want the hint of them, okay? Because I'm going to add in extra pieces. So we're garlanding as such those pieces. This one is going to be way too high, okay? I'm going to have too much. So again, we go in for that snippability. I've got mirrored vignettes, so I can actually turn that round, and that's going to give me more scope on this side. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to snip just about here. I'm going to raise this up and I'm going to seat it in. And I'm just going to place, so I've got that little pop of colour. Not too much. It's a spray of cool to bring in those purple tones at the bottom. And then I'm playing with colour, height and definition, and I'm cooling it with those white tones. Now, yes, Taz?
Sorry, but what I will say is, obviously we've sold out of the main collection and you'll be using elements of the main collection. if someone sees something in particular that they do like, the individuals are discounted on the website as well.
Wonderful. So there are individuals as well. So go and search for the collection and they'll show, will they?
Yes, if you put in a little bit fancy, they will all appear. Not all the individuals are in stock, unfortunately, but some are discounted on the website if they would like to have a look.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I've just shaped out her little head. I need to ground her feet down to the bottom, because if they're not grounded, then she's going to be floating in midair and that won't work. Now you do have options with this. You could tuck this behind the curtain so that it's sort of sealed, if you like, or hidden, and then you've got that idea of mystery. That's something that you can do with it, which is very, very sweet. I want mine to be a little bit further over, so I'm going to keep mine over here, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm going to take my piece. I've got it pinned where I want it to be. And I'm going to start adding in adhesive just here so I can seal the top part. Then I'm going to lift up my wee little lamb and just pop up a little bit of silicone gel glue just in her body. That way it stops me getting that adhesive in places I don't want it. And she'll just sit slightly forward, okay? So you get that 3D kind of idea going forward. Now I just need to pin those legs down because they're flapping around a bit. You see how the purples and the pinks start to play so prettily together. There's a really beautiful sense of it. The last thing that I've got here are my gorgeous ballet slippers. I've snipped away the little mouse and they're just going to seat. Now with the cut lines that Nick has given me, I can then just turn this round. I can pull them and I can manipulate the die cut that I've got from those wonderful vignettes. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is turn that round and I'm going to start to round the toes. And that's the only shaping I'll do with the ball tool, is just round out those toes. So that they seat, okay? From there, I'm going to fill that with silicone gel glue. And bring those to the fore. Now as we put silicone gel glue on them, obviously they sit further forward, and it's the idea that there's a scene going on behind them. So your perspective kind of line goes through. It's theatre and it's performance all the way through this collection. It's absolutely glorious. And there she is, reaching up very, very high to get hold of that gorgeous lipstick. Everything seated there. Beautiful colour play, isn't it? Grab your perfect papers because they are absolutely perfect for this. The floral collection, and we will start working with the floral collection, but that is available to you still today. You can find that on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. You can either search with the QR code or you can put in 200713. From that you'll get all of the florals and you'll get the card shape. You can see it all sitting there. And that's coming in at £65.99, but we can take that down to £59.39 if you use your 10% discount code. So it's still an incredible price. Bear in mind the card shape itself would probably come in at a value of around 40 quid anyway, so you're still making this incredible saving on all of those florals, and the florals are stunning. Absolutely stunning. So grab it while you can. Go and check out which individuals are available if that's what you want to do as well. There will be some of the extras there as individuals, but not all of them, and it's going to be a case of fastest finger first. So if you've seen something that you love and you're like, I really want that piece, go and see if it's there and then grab it before anybody else does. Right, more. Well, Miss Taz, all of my stuff does seem to have a lot of florals in it. We'll go for the little mouse. I don't know if she's available as individual, but it has got florals as well. We didn't quite expect it to sell out that fast. Just saying. Just saying, Miss Taz. Right. scalloped edge nested dies. Using this for my DL shape, so we'll go in away from the main card shape for this demo. The next one we'll go back to it. And we're just going to bring this in and shuffle. And we'll build those mats and those layers, coming in this time with those two cooler greens, sorry. And I've left a good distance. When I'm using the nested dies, and Carnation's nested dies are wonderfully spaced. It's something that I massively appreciate. This is my biggest die, the card base. Then I skipped one and I've gone one in. Okay, and that's what I've done then for the next layer as well. It gives me this really, as with this is the scalloped edge nested, it gives me this really lovely kind of bubble shape pattern around it, which is very soft, very feminine, beautiful curves on it. So it's really pleasing to the eye. It's got a really nice rounded feel to it. Bringing this in then with the white DL. So this is a really simple card to work with, and we're going to look at those florals for you as well. Placing this down, push. So you see how you've got this really lovely kind of bubbly, chunky looking card that's very unusual shaped. It's really pretty. The nested dies are always, always a joy. Let's have a look at some of your florals then. So we'll do this. We'll add the mouse at the end anyway, but let's look at the florals on their own. I'm going to have a look at these balloon florals first. So first of all, you've just bought the floral collection. Lay that down and pop a sentiment just at the bottom, because I'm pretty sure you don't need anything else. I think that's a card all on its own, and that's the joy, right? It's so pretty. But if you want to make it taller, add in an extra. Okay, so then you're making it fuller, you're adding more to it. You can get rid of the stem from the one behind. So if I snip into this, let's show. Everything's snippable, remember, with Carnation. So if I just get rid of that, lay this in, tuck that behind, and we start to make it look fuller. Okay, so now it starts to bloom, but we're going to maybe need to just cool that out. Let's add in a little more colour. So we're going to break it up ever so slightly. So I'm just going to lay these in, just so I get that difference. You're just looking to bring the eye down. Okay. So we're just bringing in those cool tones along with those warm tones. Place these through. Tuck them in, because we've got all the tuckability in the world here. And I get those blooms. Now that starts to look a little busy for me. There's a bit too much going on. So I can start to then interact with the pieces that I've got. And this is where your snippability comes in, isn't it? I know I like the purples, but there's a bit too much going on, and I don't want that much. So I'm going to come in with this one. And they're going to snip out the stem. So instantly I get less busy. I've got more space, more white space, but I've got a problem area in the middle. There's too much and I don't need that much. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take a look at this one. And I'm going to go, well, okay, I don't need quite as much as I've got there. So I'm going to take some away. And actually what I'm going to do first of all is just snip that one. See how I'm caring with height, because I've got those snip points and I've got those snip marks. Now I get height and I get breathing space, because I don't want too much of the purple in there. I can just seat those behind, cool it off, and now I just get an intricate value that I didn't have before because I bulked it out too much. So you can see how playing with those snippability, but points that we've got, those bits that allow us to snip in, getting rid of some of the ends here so I don't have too much greenery, and then laying this in at this side so I just cool those tones. Can you see how we go from being too busy to now just being very, very delicate, very focused, and it becomes really nice visually in composition. Take this one, up, lift this, push, lift. Playing with these different elements. By pushing your thumb down and holding them and lifting them, it means you get it where you want it to be, rather than constantly taking it off and then trying to add it back in again. If you just hold it with your thumb so it's gluing at the same time, you can just place those pieces exactly where you want them. Small amounts of adhesive. Hey up. Pinning them is really, really important. So now that I've got my beautiful delicate florals all seated, I've got my little Michigan. This is called On Point. You'll find her 200722. She's on a really special price today, but what I'm going to say is I think there's going to be a rush on the website when I say this price. Run! Run. 200722 for today only. She's £8.24. Run. £8.24. Let's turn her over and give her a little bit of shape here. So you can either separate the ballet shoes so that you've got the ballet shoes or the mouse on its own, or you can use the pair together. I'm just going to point out those toes. Just round them through. Now, she comes with the most glorious decoupage because she's very fancy. So the next element to her is the extra body piece. This starts to give it that 3D element because the back foot is far, far behind now. Then we take into account her beautiful skirt. And this, we can follow those cut lines, bring it round, and then we can work on that band there. Pull her body forward and watch her come to life. You can use foam pads there. See how her back foot starts to disappear behind? So you get that 3D placement coming through. And then finally her gorgeous little skirt. So let's make that really frill out. You could use 2 of these if you want to really puff it at the front there. And there's her little skirt. Just seated. Hey up. Get my rather large Yorkshire hands in there. There you go. She's perfect. She's just very pretty and dainty, isn't she? Let's take all of that and I'm going to fill that with silicone gel glue. So just very delicately holding her so I don't lose those elements, bringing in the card. Seat that there, a little bit on those ballet shoes. And then I can see all of that down, holding her little hand. And allow her to come to life on the top of that card. Isn't she so sweet? £8.24, guys. Gorgeous. Really, really sweet. It's a gorgeous collection, isn't it? So obviously a little bit, if you've just joined us, a little bit fancy collection, the main collection has sold out. But we do still have the other collection for you, which is the floral collection. That's 200713. You'll find it on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. $65.99, but that's for today and today only because there is so much in it. It is not going to stay that price. Free UK P&P, pop your 10% discount in and take that down to a mere $59.39 for everything you see in there, which is obviously your main card shape and then all of those florals. If you have just joined joined us, you may then have missed the deal of the day this morning, which was what to wear, which was just ace. You're going to absolutely love it. It's a wardrobe that you completely build with separate clothes, coat hangers. It's just stunning. It really is beautiful. It's selling very, very fast, though we don't have much left. That's over on the Carnation website as well. $59.99 today, but it is the deal of the day. So we'll go back up to $69.99 at midnight tonight. So basically everything that you're seeing today, regardless of whether that is the what to wear collection or whether it is your little bit fancy, all of that is going to go up to its normal price tonight. So these are literally grab them while you can deals while they're at silly prices. Right, the final demo for Little Bit Fancy. Let's have a look at looking at the card, that curtain, and using it in the alternative way. So I've got my card base here, cut twice, and then I've scored it along. Same thing though, I'm just going to fold that back. Hey, grab this here. I was a bit confident once it missed has. Take that. Shuffle the two together, place that down, and then you've got it obviously in your landscape rather than your portrait. However, I cannot stick these down when they're in landscape. I can only do this in portrait for some reason. My brain won't do it the other way around, so we'll do it this way and then turn it. So I'm working white on white. And the reason I'm working white on white is because I'm using the blue filigree. And I'm going to stick that flat. Can we just take a moment, because that is stunning. It's almost like ice, isn't it? It's got that really glorious element to it. Let's go through with your applicator. Applicator's very, very important when we're working with filigree. And we're just going to place this on top of here. Small places, just get it where it's appropriate. You don't need to overload it, but you do need to have it middle and top and bottom. That's really, really important. You've got these little pieces here that allow you to place it on. And then I've got little elements at the bottom with that diamond. You can see why the applicators are so important, can't you? Because it really does come in handy to be able to see what you're doing. Place it in the middle and then let it drop. And just get it straight there. And then you can commit. So I know I placed adhesive in those corners. They're going to be my most important points. I also placed them at the middle, and that's going to absolutely secure that down to the card base. So I'm already working with something that's extraordinary to look at, aren't I? It's already beautiful. So anything I put on here is really going to just add in to where I have been. Now what I want to do is bring in this curtain element, but I'm going to use it as a base to the card instead. Now I do want to obviously stick this down completely, but I need to work cannily. I need my midpoint and I need to know where I'm going with the things that I put behind it. But what I need to do is just make sure I've adhered it right at the bottom. So if I take this bottom panel and I put adhesive there, I know it's secure, but I know I can still tuck stuff behind it. Then I can secure it at the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take some wet adhesive here, place some through, and make sure that the top is still going to lift. And that way I can put things behind it with confidence, knowing that this isn't going to move. And that way when I'm working with my composition, I've always got a visual of where I want to go next. So I'm just going to place that down and seal that bottom point. That's going to allow this to still lift so I can work. Once that's sealed, I can then go in and start playing. So we're going to look at the florals and we're going to look at that champagne bottle. So I'm going to bring in my bottles first. The champagne bottle, Taz is telling me, is 200721. Again, it's £8.24. That's insane. That's only for today, guys. They're going to put that back up. The champagne bottle comes with your bucket. It's got ice with it. It's got the handle. I'm going to use it today as a flower bucket rather than the champagne bucket. You can use it as either. I will still be using the champagne bottle, but just so you know, so as you're going through you can see. I'm going to take this, I want my label to stick there, but I want to just play with the rest of it so it rounds out a little bit, just so I've got that element coming through, and then I can fill it with silicone gel glue and tuck it behind that curtain. I can do that because I allowed myself that waiting time before I stuck it down at the top here, so it's just going to allow it to breathe a little bit. Now, because I'm doing this, I can then steal that silicone gel glue with my florals. So I can work backwards rather than having to work and try and make it all fit. I can work and be in control. So I'm just going to lift that, place it. Okay, and I'm just going to get that little, there we go. See how we're framing out? Now, I want to work with the florals. That little number is just the best. Now I am going to work with the balloon flowers. You did see me use these a second ago. I do want to use them again, and I just want to fill in. So the first thing I'm going to do is snip a bit of this off. Where have I put my scissors, Taz? There we are. So I'm just going to snip at the bottom there, and I'm going to tuck this in. And I'm just going to offset it to the side. Now if you've got too much going on there, you can obviously snip round. I'm just hiding those florals behind the bucket, and I just want a tiny visual of them, not too much. Let's tuck in a little extra. So just snipping round those elements. So I've got individual flowers that I can use and tuck. So I can bring them through. I can get extra height. By piecing in, and we're just filling that bucket with some extra pieces. I'll take the bud, use that as well, and I'll leave that one where it is. So my bud's going to go down here. So I've got this kind of fan shape with those florals. I've got some of the purples, but I'm going to wait and see if I want to use them first. And I've got this little beauty. Now I'm not decoupaging it because it's going to sit inside the bucket, and I want it to go over the top of my card. So I'm just going to leave it exactly as it is, really. Now you could go through and shape out each one of these fronds to give it that fullness if that's something that you wanted to do. I'm okay with it as it is. Now I can get rid of this piece because it's not going to show, so I don't need it. And I don't have to add the extra bulk. That means I can tuck it down further. If I don't want it to go over the edge of the card, then I can obviously choose to snip a bit off the top, and that allows it to sort of still sit. But I do love over the top cards, as in over the edge, over the top, as opposed to, you know, the drama, etc. Although that's also good sometimes too. I'm just going to place in, and I'm just going to allow that to seat. Now I need to balance it, because otherwise I've got this big sort of element and it looks slightly odd. I'm just going to add in a couple of those purples actually, just to cool that. Yep, there we go. So just bringing it through, adding a little bit of fullness, but also cooling it down just a smidge. Put some in at this side as well, and I'm just going to tuck these ones under, and then take a little bit and just seal that down, just so we're filling it out a little more. Gets a little bit more fullness to it. Visually it looks a little more pleasing when you fill them out more. Take a bit of this away, snip, snip, snip. Now that can sit too, just a little hint of a tint. Let me make sure that's seated properly. Use your bigger surface area points to do it. Now I've got my bottles and I'm going to balance these two out. Use your finger, pull these round so they're slightly rounded. You don't want to go too far on it. You just want that beautiful sort of little rounded edge. Same again on the other side. Just using the warmth of your hand there, that just to help you manipulate them slightly. And then we're going to take our silicone gel glue. Take what I've got in here, but I'm running out. And I'll bring it down this line. That's that. And I'm just going to balance that through. And I'm just going to offset it just to the side. And then I'm going to do the same with the other. Oh, it's a bit aggressive when it comes straight out the tube, Taz. Place that in. And just offset on either side. So I've got that really nice sort of V-line of composition with those flowers taking centre stage and the celebration happening at the side. Just to let you all know, as I was saying before, if you want to then seal this at the end so you can keep all of that depth and dimension that we've already created with the bottles and the bucket, now it'll bend to your will and it will keep everything secure, safe and flat for postage. Really pretty, right? It's an incredible collection. Really, really gorgeous collection is this. And you're just in the best position today to be able to buy it at this price. Lots of people missed out on the main collection. Obviously, we're very sorry for that. We did have a good number of them. But unfortunately, of course, when they do silly prices, then they get a massive response, and that's what's happened today. So we do apologise for those of you who have missed out. However, you can get that floral collection. That's still there, and that's still that main card shape that you've seen me working with, that stunning filigree, the beautiful curtain with the tie back. Then you're also getting all of those florals that you've seen there. So that's the Astable, the Agapanthus, the Peony, the night scented stock, and the balloon flower. All of that coming in at just $65.99. And then if you get your discount as well, $59.39. But what I'll say to you is this: the canny amongst you will go to the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Before you check out with that, go and look for the individuals that you want. Fill in, because if you buy them individually and you've already paid for that, you're going to have to pay postage on your individuals. If you go in and get it all together, then you won't pay postage, and you'll be able to get those perfect papers as well. Everything coming in with a free P&P, which is always nice to have, right? Where we can save money, we like to save money. Don't forget to put in your amazing tweezers, because they are absolutely incredible. You're going to absolutely love them. Come back and tell me how ace they are, because I can guarantee you're just going to be like, we likes them tweezers. I hope you've had a really nice day with us today. We've had a really nice day with you. We are back with you. I'm with you on Hobby Maker on Thursday, and we will be doing, oh yes, Miss Taz?
No, sorry, you carry on.
We'll be doing Vibrance of Autumn on Thursday with you on Hobby Maker, so you'll see us then. And then we are back next week.
I'm back with Wheeler
Ooh, Taz
on Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. only for Clean and Simple.
One show and one show only, 10 o'clock, Monday morning, Clean and Simple. That'll be here in our studios. You're only going to catch one show on that, so you need to be in, and you need to be in early. You know how fast Clean and Simple sells. And can I say, it's stunning. It's stunning. And Wheeler will be here with you doing that show 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Until then, we're going to love you and leave you. I hope you have an incredible week, an incredible weekend if I don't catch you on Hobby Maker.